So what keeps you going when things get tough?
I think a few things. Okay, so there is what other people would think, and there's reality, right? What other people think is when you read all these blogs about startups or startup sites, they always say, oh, the mission keeps you going or the vision keeps you going. Actually, I don't think that's true. I think for most entrepreneurs, it's kind of like the fear of failure, of letting other people down. And as doctors, actually, that's something that's worse for us because deep down as doctors, we're actually pathologically afraid of letting other people down. We just are, right? It's why doctors make a particular kind of parent. We're actually very worried about letting our kids down. Um, Honestly, that's what so drives me. I think it's still, I just do not want to let my co-founders down. I don't want to let our investors down. Bear in mind that some of my investors are my friends. So I think that's, that's kind of something that so you kind of keep going because the other weird thing about startups is that startups never die. Everyone thinks they do. They actually can live as long as you want them to live. Because ultimately, as an entrepreneur, you're the one who pulls the plug. The company can survive in a zombie state forever, can survive forever. It's still out there. You're the person that decides when to pull the plug, right? When the cost of continuing to you emotionally is more than the benefit continuing to you, for you, right? And so I think it's just that. Ultimately, it boils down to a decision-making committee of the co-founders. And, your desire to keep going is whether you want to let your co-founders down, right? I think that
Have that thought ever crossed your mind?
every day.
Ever?
Are you kidding me? Any entrepreneur who doesn't say that's lying. I think even I've met really big entrepreneurs, people who started multi-billion dollar companies. Like some of them you would have read. And actually, in private, they all say the same thing. I bet you even Mark Zuckerberg thinks every day you should give up. I'm 100% sure. Because you think about it, at both ends of the spectrum, right? If you are struggling as a startup, starting to get going or struggling with money, and like 90% of startups are struggling now because of the fundraising environment, there's no, there's no day that will go by that you don't think about giving up. And then the other end of the extreme, now run $100 billion company. You have more money than God. And you start to deal with all the crap that comes with shareholders and all the persistent pressure and different stakeholders asking for different things. You're going to think, I should give up. I don't need the money anymore. I've made it. Right. So there's no class of entrepreneur on earth that doesn't believe that they should give up every day. It's just whether or not they should, the decision point based on whether it's worth emotionally, I think.
It's your son who keeps you going to maybe
No,
not to
actually, he doesn't. To be honest with you, I think my family would rather me do almost anything else but this. Right? They support me because, I have a very supportive. I've always been blessed by supportive wives, teams, and supportive, supportive kids who just want daddy to be happy.